I
feel like we're back, baby. Are we back?
Check
It's
one.
your boy Hype, a.k.a. Black is the Freckles, man.
The black one.
Hey.
So then he says to me, he's like, hey, bro, if you want to have an open mind, you got to just be down to do whatever with whoever, right? And I'm like, do you mean like sexually? He was like, whatever. And I was like, something to think about. That's what happens if you come in the middle of a conversation and people be having, you don't know what they got going on.
Yeah, like what are they talking about? Like whatever.
If you want to make it in this world, you got to be down to do whatever with whoever, bro.
Like, could you be more specific?
I'm saying like whatever they want to do. What are you saying? Like are you gay, straight? It's like whatever, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's 2022. It's all the same now.
It's all the same.
I mean, shit. Ain't no straights. Ain't no gays. Everybody fucking.
Everybody love. It is indeed your boy Rebel.
Woo!
Yes, indeed, it's your boy Rebel.
Black Freckles in this bitch.
And Hype.
Who got a
This
lighter?
is the Raw Hype
Yeah.
Podcast.
Anon's in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed he is. Indeed he is. Indeed he is.
We brought Anon back. I'm sorry, he's still not black, but he's still that man, as a matter of fact. If you hear all his words in his speech, you can tell he ain't whack, but you can probably tell he's fat. But look who's talking. The biggest of the bones. I talk shit until haters leave me alone. I put a fucking block on my phone for anybody trying to knock on my phone. I ain't opening. Where yo bitch, I see the opening. Hope she let me fuck, I start the hoping in. Ask the Lord a couple questions like, will you bless me? And if not, then please don't stress me. Where the bitch at? She look chocolate like a Nestle. And I'm ready to pop her top, kinda like a Pepsi. And I ask her questions, I say, baby, is you ready for this? She said, oh yeah. I say, oh yeah, look, I can't miss. Check is, I'ma whip out the thing in my pants and put that thing in your hand, and you do whatever you can. Look, I hope you ain't got a man, but if you do, I'll understand. And I hope he don't wanna use his, damn. I gotta ask a couple of questions before I do what I'm doing. I hope your pussy ain't ruined, hope it ain't blueing. I hope I can borrow some money and you ain't Jewish. And I hope the pussy got a good smell and it's kinda newish. I don't know.
Hey, that was good,
What are we
man.
doing, baby?
That was good, man.
Beautiful.
When you said that, I know you ain't finna rap. When you just let me know, I know you ain't
man.
finna
I
rap.
thought you was finna go, but nah, man.
We back, ladies and gentlemen. This is indeed
They're all hype, baby.
Please Raw Hype Responsibly.
Ooh.
I remember it was there, man.
Hey, man, who got a lighter, though?
You.
I didn't lost it.
The only dude that don't smoke brought the lighter today, by
I
the
know,
way.
right? That is a fun fact.
Got him.
Shout out to Anon, man. I appreciate you pulling back up on us, man. It's been a while. Let me tell you this. The last episode we had with you, I guess we would say we misrepresented you because the title was like Argument with a White Supremacist.
Oh, yeah.
But sadly, in this day and age,
I did get clearance from him.
As long as you got views, I'm good with
and
it.
that's what I'm saying. So sadly, it turned into views. It started off our trend of having a bunch of views on our videos, and I'd like to give you a little bit of credit for that.
Yeah, I think that video has like 5 or 6,000.
5 or 6,000, and then
That's great for y'all, not so great for me. But
but since then, they all have had like 5, 6, 4,000, 3,000 and shit. And again, naturally, if it started with you, you got to take the credit, correct?
hey, I'll do whatever I can for you fellas.
White man love taking the damn credit,
Up to and including being called a white supremacist.
Which he is not, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm about to put on a Rico the Raw Hype shirt.
I'm white. I just don't have the supremacist part down yet.
All right.
You're working on it. I'm working on being a little more supreme.
I'm saying, you know, who's that comedian said, I don't even know who to call to see about an elephant? Like, I don't know who to call to see about joining KKK or none of that. Like, I don't even know who to call.
I think they come and see you.
He said just whites. Just call any old white. Like, hey, KKK?
They had to put on a Raw Hype shirt, man. I feel naked without one.
Come on, baby. Take that little piece off right there. A little bit of lint.
Oh, come on, man. Don't do me like that. This is why I don't tell you my jokes. You had to just clean it up a little bit. But yeah, man. What's going on with you black guys?
What's going on, man?
I'm doing stand-up comedy this year, man.
Hey, now you gotta move over a little bit, man. Me and this nigga about to fall off.
Then I'm not on that camera. Does that matter?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I can get you a little
And
bit.
they're like, nah, you ain't nobody.
There
So
we go.
you ain't shit.
Bang, there we go.
So
Bang. There's a fix for everything.
Anon's been having fun in life. Yeah, man. Like Anon like a Buddha now, man. He be outside meditating. He didn't change. You should start meditating now that I think about it.
I actually do.
Man, look at what we got
like,
here.
for real, bro. This is what you be talking about, though, for real. You don't see a motherfucker for a while. That person you see last time, that motherfucker don't exist.
That
no
ain't
more,
the representative.
Now, he's still there, but he I don't let him come out much. Like I keep him down. I keep him down.
Nah, I don't even think old me exists at all no more, bro.
Well, see, this is a new journey for me.
Yeah, this is new.
Relatively new. This is
I feel like you should rock it out with us going and doing fasting too.
This is the last 3 months. I told you I'm gonna go ahead and fast today since I haven't eaten. I'm gonna fast today. I'll give it a try. I'll give anything a try. Why not?
If nothing else, you'll just get on that scale tomorrow and say, W.
Well, when I got on that scale in jail is when I said, okay, something, I didn't know I weighed that much.
And that's how you start a story. Nigga, you hungry? Nigga, last time I ate was in jail, nigga.
I was just about to say that. You know what nigga random as hell when that's the kind of story you tell. Like, shit, I'm finna bring it up.
That's quite a segue.
You ain't gotta ask me.
That's
Come
quite a
on, take it
segue.
up, take it away, man. Now, you just mentioned you was in jail.
Did you kill her? Be honest, bro. Because we done had some talks. Me and you done had some talks. And you didn't text me about 2 a.m. saying, hey, I think she's dead, hype.
Well, I'm out on bail, so I can't discuss. No,
I'm finna put
Out
a
on bail,
California California love me, bro. That's the next man.
had nothing to do with a female.
right, man, what you did, bro?
But yes, I am out on bail currently.
You want to talk about it, man?
Sure. I don't have nothing to hide.
We like DJ Vlad, man. We be talking about pending cases and shit. They gonna use this in court and shit. No,
Nah, yeah, it ain't like that.
we ain't popping like that.
So so I went to the poker room one night, like I normally do.
Right, just a regular old night.
Just a regular ass night, regular
Right.
Friday night, and I go in there. This was May 6th. I won't forget. I go up in there.
May is a terrible fucking month.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, it's our least favorite month, but go on.
It was May 6th, early in the morning, like 1 a.m. And we get in there. And
You got there at 1 a.m.?
Yeah.
No, you were
Man,
looking for
I
trouble.
can't remember the last time I got to a place at 1 a.m.
Well,
It's probably been over a decade.
the poker room is like a
Clean.
perfect place for me to go and sit and gamble after I've had a long night of drinking and shit. Right? So when I used to drink, I don't drink anymore, but that's part of this story.
Come on, bro. We got some
That
things
nigga
to
said
talk about.
it
Let's
got a
go.
lot to do with this.
Yeah, that's got a lot to do
We
with
might
it.
not even call you what we call you. You a new man here today standing in front of us.
Yeah, so yeah, check out the fresh water that Rebel just gave me. But yeah, so I walk up in there. I got a few friends with me, and as soon as I get in there, I'm instantly surrounded by security guards, and they
What it's like to be black.
Hey, I was trying to make a joke. I said I didn't interrupt it like 3 times. Let him rock.
they walked up to me with holding a smartphone and with a picture of somebody.
Oh, shit.
And they get a little bit closer and they say, "Is this you?" And I looked at it and I said, "It could be. I mean, I'm here a lot." I said, but the picture was real shitty quality. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I said, "It could be. I really don't know." And he said, "You got to go. You got to get the fuck out of here." Right? So now I'm drunk, and I don't respond. Old me doesn't respond to that type of intimidation or forceful tactics very well. So
Right.
so I bugged out a little bit, and they happened to notice I had a gun on me, which I always have a gun on me,
Talk.
and I have a license for it though. I just happened to have it in a place where it was not allowed or permitted. Anyhow, there's no signs on the door. Make a long story short, I get arrested very violently, gunpoint.
Real quick, is the case still going on? Mm-hmm. So you kind of got to watch some of the things you say here.
Yeah, well, those it doesn't really matter because what it is, everything's on camera. Everything's recorded, has been recorded by like
Gotcha.
multiple
Continue.
cameras.
Continue.
So
That's how we not Vlad.
Don't talk about open case. I'm
knelt down on my back, gun in my back of my neck and all this shit, arrested me. 6 charges. My charges were 4 counts of assaulting law enforcement. So I'm not going to talk about the specifics of everything that happened.
Gotcha.
My charges were 4 counts of assault law enforcement, 1 carrying a firearm in a prohibited place, and another of public disturbance. So those were my charges. I went to jail. I was in jail for about 3 or 4 days before I was able to get bailed out. And then once I got bailed out, I said, "Yo, I drink too much." Like I knew I drank too much before then, but I just lost my nephew in October of last year, and I went through a real bad depression. And this depression and shit, mental illness is real, y'all. This depression and this anxiety and all this shit, it got way, way worse, and it carried over into when I got arrested. So we're talking from October to May, I was in a real, real bad negative place, drinking every day, just wilding out, doing shit a man who's married with kids shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? So in jail, when you sober up in jail, that's not fun.
Can't be.
Yeah, nah.
I wouldn't want to go to jail if I was high.
Nah.
Like, yo, high run off. You like, I'm just in this motherfucker now. God damn.
Yeah, so I in jail, I come to this very sobering reality of like, what the fuck are you doing type moment, you know? I was like, man, your kids and your wife are at home, and this is Mother's Day weekend, by the way. So
look at the gift.
So my wife is having to go through all this shit on Mother's Day, and I'm like, yo, and the whole weekend that I'm in there, I'm just thinking about that and how I caused all this inconvenience on a day that's supposed to be special for her. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And then this is affecting my kids because she's having to take my kids to and from jail because they're bullshitting her about when I'm getting out. They keep saying he's out. She'll come to get me. Then they'll say no. She'll drive home for 2 hours, come back. You know, the shit was just crazy. But anyhow, I got out. I went to, fast forward, make a long story short, got into a 2-week program. It's called an intensive outpatient program, partial hospitalization. It treats depression, anxiety, alcohol abuse, and stuff like that. And then got out of there. Yeah, the trifecta. They taught us how to meditate and shit. And so I use that. And I'm also seeing a therapist now. And the shit is real. A therapist and a psychiatrist, and I'm just healing, man. That's all, getting better.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Would you think, or would you say that you like the journey that you're on right now?
It feels great knowing that I don't have to drink, right? Because before my nephew died in October, I went from a social drinker where I was just drinking on the weekends with my friends and drinking when I got up with people. When my nephew died, it was an instant switch. I was drinking every day. I had to have it. Full blown alcoholic. Full blown. You know what I mean?
My next question. Do you feel like you needed to go through that to get to this place that you want today?
Yeah, because it was either going to be that, or I was going to kill myself drinking, or I was going to get killed in a fight, or get shot or something like that, because I was out there like that. Like I was out there wilding out, acting stupid, just being crazy, and it was gonna take something. And the moment I woke up hungover in jail, I said, this is a blessing. I said, because I knew right then at that moment, I said that this is what it's gonna take to fix me.
See, so when shit like that happens, stuff like that happens, I always say, like, things happen for a reason.
Yes.
So it's like sometimes if you step in too early and you try to, fix shit or take somebody off a path, it's like sometimes they need to fall so they can see that you need to get up.
Let them fall to see how deep it is.
So then, yes, but what if letting them fall, they can't come back up?
Well, that was my concern, right? So where if I had kept going where I was going, and I'm talking about I was to the point where I was like, I was immobile. I was laying on a couch in a dark room drinking all day, every day. And I wouldn't have told y'all that then when y'all was checking on me, I was like, I'm fine. That I wasn't fine. You know what I'm saying? But what are you going to do? That's the other thing about mental illness, especially with males, is we don't feel like we can talk about it. I'm talking about it after the fact because I'm comfortable with it now. But when I was going through it, I wasn't. But I was literally laying on a couch killing myself in the back room of my house. And so, in order to get to the point where something was going to change, something drastic had to happen. So this is where we're at now. And my buddy Hype over here to the right, he found me a great attorney. She's already got the assault charges dropped.
There we go.
She also got that bullshit ankle bracelet monitor they put on my.
They had your monitor?
Yeah, they for $15 a day I had to pay for that shit.
That shit costs.
It was only on for like 2 weeks. It was like $546 I had to pay.
You got to pay that setup fee and all that shit.
So I took that off. She got that off like immediately, and then she got the 4 charges dropped. So now it's just like a disturbing the peace and a firearm in a unauthorized place. But those are class 3 misdemeanors, very low on the.
You're gonna be all right.
I think I'm gonna be all right. The bigger thing that I took out of this was get your mental health right, get your body right. Because I ruined myself drinking. Now I got to get back to somewhat decent shape.
I know you said you don't really care about fasting and whatnot, or don't really believe in it. But if you did, fasting for an extended period of time rebuild cells in your body that you have damaged or that have become damaged. Okay, even if it's not something that you believe at all, I'd say I give it a whirl just because you don't have a lot to lose. But let me respond because I was quiet.
Yeah, I will.
it's good to hear these things from you, even though this is one of the reasons that I don't enjoy being alive, if we're being completely honest with you here.
What a segue.
It's just the truth.
I'm glad I'm alive. I'm glad I'm doing good. I'm glad I'm doing well. My turn? Sure. This is why I hate living.
But you know I love my life, but there are some things.
Well, I didn't say I'm glad I'm alive, but good.
Right. Oh, he's saying me.
No, I'm
but
saying him.
yeah. All right. So look what have to happen sometimes to us.
Yeah.
Because, all right, so for starters, you took it hard when your nephew died.
Yeah.
Right? I remember I spoke about it to people I knew, and I put out like a tweet about it. And one of the reasons that I wanted to put out a tweet about it, I ain't saying nothing about you specifically because you know I'm not like that, but I was like, my homeboy, nephew passed away or whatever, and I spoke about it. And it's because my nieces and my nephews follow me on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, my nephew, I was 11 when my nephew was born, okay? I talk to my nephew every single day.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So when I heard you talking about it and I seen you and I was
You
like,
instantly think of your situation.
of
yeah.
course. So I'm thinking like, you know how you can really only empathize with somebody if you put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
So when I put myself in your shoes, I'm like, I'm in a Madden league with my nephew. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I talk to my nephew every day. So this happens, sends you to a place and all that, whatever. But then you get to the point where you like, I have to fix myself. But even when me and you talked, I was talking to him on his way to jail, and he was crazy.
Yeah.
He was like, man, I'm out of control, basically. But, you know,
Yeah, well,
talking to the
I was
police
recording
officer
some
and
of what the cop was saying, and you know, some of the shit he incriminated himself in. But I got those recordings if I need them.
Oh, shit.
So, with that being said, I'm talking to him, and then when he get out, I'm like, you know your wifey should be leaving you, right? And he was like, yes. And I'm very appreciative and thankful that she don't. And I was like, I'm glad to hear that. You feel what I'm saying? And then as time went by, you was kind of silent. But when I heard from you, because you know me, I'm always going to check in, or if I got something funny or whatever, I'm going to send it. When I checked in or whatever, you would always be like, I'm getting to where I need to get on some slowly but surely, but I haven't seen you in person.
Yeah.
But to see you in person, and honestly, I didn't believe you when
Yeah.
I first seen it today.
Yeah.
I didn't shit on it because I believed that you were trying.
I got you.
You feel what I'm saying? You know how you got friends and people that you know,
Yeah.
and they be on some like, oh, I'm on a diet. And you're like,
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
I bet you are.
You feel what I'm saying? So it was really on some, I'm not going to knock you because I know, because one thing I do say about you is I say that you mean well. Meaning well doesn't mean anything in the real world, though.
Right.
But mean well is like, I know you, so I can say that. You feel what I'm saying? So then in how you really got on it, because to me, you sound like a completely different person.
Completely
Like a
different
completely different
Side
person.
note, we had a little conversation before this episode. And even through that conversation, he didn't handle it how he would handle the conversations
That
prior.
is actually true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because I was kind of losing a little bit, so I didn't
Yeah.
want to highlight it, but now I
Right.
can.
A lot of people are telling me that, and it's not to brag or anything, but I honestly, like, I'm being 100% honest and not trying to be cool or nothing like that. I feel different.
Of course.
And that's
Of course.
why I'm behaving differently. And I've been humbled in more ways than one.
That's the word.
Yeah. Humbled in
That's the word.
way more ways than one. Listen. Like, for example, like a dude, I didn't learn how to meditate from this program. A dude in jail taught me how to meditate. You know what I mean? So, I was listening, and he's in his mid-20s. I'm 42. So I'm like, man, usually I'd be like, what I'm gonna learn from a 20-something-year-old? He taught me something.
Of course.
He taught me something.
I used to be the exact same way.
And then it was right there at that moment where I said, yo, just shut the fuck up and listen. Maybe you can learn from him. And he taught me these breathing exercises, bro, and they fucking worked. So then he was like, yeah, you can take it deeper. He showed me how to take it deeper. Then he's like, all right, this is when you get into full meditation. This is what you do. So now I do that shit at my house. You know what I mean? Like if I'm stressed out or if I start feeling that anxiety and shit coming on, now I start doing that shit at the house. Because when I have, my anxiety ain't going away. I'm just learning to deal with it in a different way.
Right.
Normally when I have anxiety or panic attack or depression, I start drinking. Because it goes away immediately.
Right.
The problem is the long-term problems that the alcohol causes. So short-term relief for a long-term problem. And that's all it is. So, and my kids have seen me go through this, so hopefully, and I've had conversations with them, hopefully they won't go down that road with alcohol. That shit is.
But it's wonderful in a way because you can talk about something with your children in a real way, not in a don't do drugs
Don't
because
do drugs.
I'm
Yeah.
fucking
and
Batman.
they living it with you,
You feel
so
what I'm
they
saying?
know it's real.
Yeah, I could literally say, you see this?
Yeah.
This is not what you want to be.
It's interesting, man, because like to me this is the most proud I've ever been of you. Like, to be all jokes aside, you know. And you've done some dope shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, hell, you've gotten me a job before. I'm proud of that. Like, I'm proud that somebody give a fuck enough to do that. Like, I've lived with you. You feel what I'm saying? But this is hell. I've seen like, me and you have kick to kick. This is the dopest thing you've ever done.
I agree.
You feel what I'm saying?
Besides having kids, but that doesn't take any effort.
Oh, no. This is the dopest thing that you've ever done.
Yeah.
For your
For
children.
but not only that, for
You
yourself.
feel what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
for yourself and for your wifey. You feel what I'm saying? You are very fortunate and very lucky on the cool, bro, to actually have people that care about you at your lowest because your highest is so high.
For real.
Because that's what got you through, is that your high be high. You feel what I'm
high as
saying?
hell.
If your high is average and your lows are low, everybody around you is going to leave you eventually. But if your highs are high and your lows are low, that's how your people stick it out.
And to be honest, man, a lot of people
Yeah.
did. You know, a lot of people did leave my life, and
Thank you.
family members included.
Thank
Right.
you.
And I don't have anything negative to say. I understand
Say
why.
thank you.
I understand why they did what they did.
Right.
You know, I was in a bad place, but I can't make you forgive me.
Respect.
You know what I mean?
Respect.
All I can do is put the feeler out there, which I've done. I've apologized for my behavior.
Right.
That's all I've done. I refuse to dwell in negativity and let that be something that starts causing me
You hear him, man?
depression.
You hear him? You hear that, boy?
You're making me laugh,
You hear
bro,
him?
because you legitimately sound like a different person, bro.
People have been telling me that, man.
That's crazy.
was
I'm
on-
happy for you,
I was
though.
on the phone.
Very.
I was on my phone with the homie that was at the poker room with me when this happened. I just was talking to him last night,
Right.
and he goes, "Man, you sound like a different person."
And it's crazy because that's like a great compliment.
Yeah.
Like, it really is.
It is,
And not even
but
saying,
but then it makes me feel bad of like, why
what
was
did
this
y'all
out here?
think? What did y'all think about me before?
but- Fuck all that.
I didn't care what people thought. I just guess I cared more about what I was doing to myself, and people were seeing that. Like, people were seeing that I was putting out this vibe that was negative and made people feel bad. I don't want to make people feel bad. I don't care
feel
what
that.
I don't care what you think about me as a person, but I don't want you to feel bad because of my existence or my appearance. Oh shit, Adam's here.
I promise
You know what I'm
you, bro, like, this is a lot of shit I've been saying for a long time, but it's also a lot of shit you've been saying for a long time. It's almost like they've really met in a way of like, I truly don't give a fuck about anything except for myself and the things that I need to give a fuck about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's deep. I'm very proud of you. It's
beautiful.
It's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, I talked to you and I kind of like I said, I didn't talk to you. Like, you didn't just hit me up like every day, like, oh my God, I'm going through this, I'm going through this, I'm going through this. But we would have our moments, you know what I'm saying, to where you would say, hey, I'm going through some shit. And I gave you my advice that I would give you, whether it was voice memos or texting or whatever. But it's dope to see you come out on the other side. You feel what I'm saying? And like, I'm impressed. I truly am.
That's what I'm saying. It is
It's impressive. And
commendable.
it inspires
for real.
me to continue to try to be great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It's all about growth, and you know, I hope I can continue on this path.
Yes,
because,
you can.
Because
You
I do
can,
feel good.
because
I
you
do
feel
better.
different.
Exactly.
I feel better. I feel mentally clear. Like, bro, I swear to God, man, I was to the point where I was forgetting entire nights. Like,
Yeah,
people
that's
would be
rough.
like, "Yo, remember the other night we were at the bar?" I'm like, "What? When did we go to that bar?"
Right up.
I was just
Right
forgetting
up.
entire
Anything is a blur.
conversations with my wife. Entire conversations I would forget.
And I was talking to
so-
him one day, and I was just telling him, I was like, man, a way that I keep life real simple is I said, I don't ever go anywhere. Like, legitimately, that was the talk
That's a
we
good
had.
way to look at that.
And he was literally like, this actually makes a lot of sense. Like, no joke.
Well, it also opened my eyes too, because like, and again, I say this because as a disclaimer, I take full accountability for that night.
Oh, no.
I say that as a
You
disclaimer
gotta applaud accountability.
for
man.
what I'm about to say,
Go
because
ahead.
it might sound like I'm not, but I do take full accountability. It also opened my eyes to, bro, if the police say you did some shit and there aren't cameras and shit around,
Oh, yeah.
you're fucked.
Your word against theirs.
I mean,
Bro,
this is
I've already had to
This
pay.
is black people 101.
yes.
I've already
it is.
had to pay and I already knew this shit from my childhood, but I don't even know if I told you this, but they went into my childhood record and
Oh yeah, you told me.
now they're bringing up shootings I was
thought
involved
they
in.
can't.
I thought they couldn't either.
Yeah, he definitely.
They
told
brought
me.
up shootings I was involved in when I was like 16.
Yeah.
So so I don't know what information they're going to use, what they're going to use that information for, but it just reiterated what I had already known, like about the legal system and stuff like that. Like I was seeing my charges were all getting trumped up to $50,000 bond, and there was dudes in there with felony hit and runs getting $50,000 bonds. I'm going, what's going on? Like all this shit is like I'm getting the same bond, like as if because it involved law enforcement.
Yep.
Exactly. Once it involves
So-
law enforcement, they can say whatever.
So
That's
I
why
was
the
like-
number one charge is like resisting arrest.
Yeah, so that was the smaller lesson. I really kind of already knew that shit, but it kind of just hit it home for me. I was like, you just stay the fuck away from shit. Stay
Yes,
away from bad
facts.
shit. you know?
That's why though.
That's why niggas stay
I
home.
even and not to like keep bringing my tweets because I don't even tweet like this, but I tweeted this one day. I said the probability, and I even told you, I said the probability of something bad happening to you increases greatly when you leave your home.
yeah.
Even if the definition of bad is just I got a flat tire.
Yep.
You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like literally, and it's like, and I said it to some people, and they had to take a second to like really digest it. It's the honest to God truth. The probability greatly increases just by simply leaving your home. Now, I'm not saying don't go out, don't have a good time, don't blah, 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 blah. But I do evaluate every time I leave my home.
Be responsible and avoid bad shit.
Avoid avoidable problems.
Avoid
My
avoidable
soul.
problems.
Avoidable
Right.
problems. Come on.
Like when I just now, bro, I just before the end of last week, I hadn't left my house. Literally, I haven't stepped outside my house in like 3.5 weeks. I'm gonna be like afraid to go out now. You know what I'm saying?
I feel it.
Because I've had so many run-ins with the police. I've gotten very lucky a few times.
Right.
And then this time, just the luck ran out. You know what I mean? So
See, for me, it's because my peace is at my home.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? The world is filled with chaos. Like if I go to the poker room and I go there to gamble or whatever, there's gonna be chaos there. Like if someone wins, someone's screaming. If somebody wants to fight, if somebody wants to bring a gun in here, whatever. But you know me, I fuck with the casino, so that I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I'm never gonna go to the casino or nothing like that. That's not really what it is. It's like I said, I'm gonna evaluate every time I rock out.
Instead
Like
of going 1 a.m., I might go 1 p.m.
Straight up, I love to gamble. I live 50 minutes from the
Yeah.
casino. I never go, but some days I wake up and say, "Man, I'm gonna take my ass to the
Yeah.
casino."
Yeah, I
It's
know.
just like
and you'll tell me too. But
Oh, yeah.
you definitely don't go as often as I thought you would, living as close to as
Me too.
straight
as
up,
you do.
straight up.
But
that's
that's
balance.
what happens, you know.
It's
Yeah.
a balance, and that's what you on right now. You on the balancing part. It's like, man, right now I'm just not gonna go outside, but then you gonna get to a point where, all right, man, I'm gonna go here or I'm gonna go over
Yeah.
here.
There
This
is a
place
lot of
warm.
what do I need that's out there.
Right. Like last night, I said I'm gonna go play in my poker league that I play in because I'm banned from the poker league. Right. I was like,
Clearly, I'm banned.
You found that out that night.
oh yeah. So I went to go play in the poker league that I play in, and they play in like a different place every night. And normally when I go do this is where I drink heavily. I've never done this sober.
Yeah,
Not once.
I feel that.
Not once.
I feel that.
And I went and I just drank water and I just played poker, man, and I still had fun. And I was like, you know what? This is fucking doable. Like that was the moment where I was like, all right, this is doable. Because if I can leave my house and do this shit without drinking, then I can do it. You
Like,
know what I mean?
yeah, you pulled up on me one time and was like, you were trying to drink? And I was like, man, I don't even really drink no more like that. You was like, damn, for real?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, and it wasn't even nothing for me. Like I told you, I just woke up and my organs was hurting one day. I was like, yo, my body feel like it can't take it. So that's why I stopped. So I'm of course thankful in a way to where nothing drastic had to happen to me. You know what I'm saying? But in your case, it's like,
Well,
it's-
everybody's journey is different, right?
Yes.
So like me, I'm hard headed, and it took that. You know, it ain't gonna take that for you because you already foresaw that. You've
Yeah.
already foreseen things
Yeah.
that you don't want to have happen in your
Facts.
life, and you've decided how to avoid those
Facts.
things. Me, I was just more living in the moment of being just depression was just really really rough, bro. So
That
like
motherfucker hold on you.
on
too.
my, when I feel like living in the moment, you were who I call first.
yeah.
So you know me, I'm down to live in the moment, and we are cut from the same cloth in a lot of different ways. You know what I'm saying? But it's like if I'm saying, hey, I want to go out tonight and go to the poker room and drink and be crazy. It's like I'm about to walk in there and just put a ridiculous bet. I'll go with Anon and he'll tell me what to put the money on. Like I would contact you first, and that's not an insult or nothing like that.
No. You just knew I would be out there.
Exactly. It's like
when you're gonna do crazy shit, you contact the crazy friend. Simple as that. Now now he gonna hang out with me, the Zen master.
We had fun. We had some funny happen when I was living in Bartram Park, and you Hype sent me a text saying he said something like I'm about to fight. I need your back. I need your back. Bring a gun or some shit. And I said, what? And he says, I don't have time to talk. Are you coming or not? And I just got in my fucking car and I started driving. I get like 15 minutes from my house, and this motherfucker, he had forgotten about the whole shit.
Yeah, I had a customer come in.
And he fucking got back on the thing. He goes, oh my God, my bad, bro. I was just fucking with you. And you're like on the way to my house. You know what I'm saying? So
listen, I told him, I said, this isn't something I would normally do for a laugh. It's not my style of comedy. And
he said, I'll never do it again.
Yes, I did say that. Yeah, I said, I will never do this again.
But that was funny.
But I thought I would catch him so early, or he would just respond and not just, you know what I'm saying? But I'm at work, and I'm talking about you, and I'm talking about Anon. And it was funny because I talked about Anon more than I talked about you, but I was around you way more than I'm around Anon, but when me and Anon was together, we just would either have fun or something funny would happen or whatever. So I'm telling them, and I was like, Anon is white. And then they're like, for real? I was like, yeah. They was like, you always talk about Anon because like you talk about like how he told you what gun to buy and this and that and that. And I was like, yeah, Anon's like that crazy white friend that you have that you say, hey, I need you to come over right now. Some shit's getting crazy. He would come. And I was like, for real? And I was like, yeah. And then that's why I say it. Like, and I even like on some like, hey, I thank you so much, like on some like that you would do that for me. But the reason it's funny to me is because earlier I was about to say, when I say you mean well, you feel what I'm saying? It falls in that category, like on some, but all jokes aside.
And that's a dumb thing to do, is to go out there.
Oh, it is. But I also give myself some credit though, that if you knew it was me, it would be for a legitimate reason.
Right.
Like on some all jokes aside shit. There are things that you could call me up on that I truly probably wouldn't want to do or wouldn't want to ride along with, but I would. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Just because. Mainly because I feel like you would. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. It's almost kind of like there's things that you have done for me and shit to where no matter what, I'll always fuck with you. You feel what I'm saying? So there are like the things that you are saying that you are changing and you're growing to and things like that. There have been times that these same things made me not say, I'm not going to get too close to Anon, but I'm not going to get too close to Anon. Not because of anything you've done. It's like you have people around you that I don't like. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's just like, I'm a person that hangs out with people that doesn't hang out with people. And it fits your personality, honestly, to not hang out with people. But that's another story for another day. But my whole point is, the reason that I always say that I will cut for you is that I know that he'll always have my back. And I feel like it's because of who I am. Not because you're crazy or you're stupid or anything to that effect. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like I told you the other day when you tagged me in a post, I appreciate the fact that I can show you love and be there for you like you have always been for me. So that's like a statement of why I fucks with you. Yeah. So now you're going here, which is up. It's like I couldn't be happier, and you were worth me fucking with you until you got here to go up. How your family feels.
Yeah.
You smell me?
I appreciate that. Why I appreciate him is because, like I said, I've known him longer, so I've seen more ups than the downs, right? So it is beautifuler for me because I seen you be up, somehow get down, and now you're getting back up, but you're starting with yourself, essentially. And I'm saying, before I feel like you didn't care about yourself enough. Right. And now you care more about yourself, which is now making you then care about the people you're supposed to care about more because, you care about yourself. So now it's like, damn, man, they deserve this.
That's 100%
and I deserve
accurate.
to give it to them. You know what I'm saying?
That's 100% accurate. Is that for a very long time, up to and including, doing all depression and the alcoholism and all that. It's the core of the fucking problem was that I didn't care about myself.
Self-abuse.
And then I started realizing, well, I've got some people that love me a lot, and I'm like everything to them, like my children, for example. Now I started to learn to love myself through their eyes. You know what I mean? Because I'm somebody to something. To
I
someone.
essentially, no bullshit, told my daughter what you were telling me in a video today.
Yeah.
Like dead ass
Like
today.
I love myself through your eyes. You know
Straight
what I mean?
up.
I want to be the guy that comes home and you can run and jump on and hug.
Straight up.
I want to be that.
Straight up.
You know,
I told her, like, thank you for giving me purpose. Thank you for I hope I'm making you proud. You know what I'm saying? It's like I do like live for my daughter in that way. And it's weird because it's almost selfish in a way because you're kind of putting a lot of pressure on them at that point, you know what I'm saying? To like you're my reason for living. You know what I'm saying?
But it's a healthy thing to grab onto. There's not
That's
much,
a good way to put it.
There's not much
If
in
you-
this world.
Listen
Yeah.
to this man.
No doubt.
Are
If
you
you're
listening
gonna-
to this man?
If you're gonna do something that's addictive or whatever
Yeah,
or whatever, it's some shit like that. So I definitely am with you on that because I feel like I'm like that. But if it comes with any negative connotation, I'll take it.
I gotta wear it.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Gotta
Because I
wear
know I'm gonna put y'all first, and I'm gonna pay attention to what y'all got going on, and I'm gonna try to stay alive and be a better me for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you want to know why you like this now though, and why it took so long? It's because of your upbringing.
Yeah.
When
No.
you-
My therapist actually said, which is rare. She said it. He said it's rare, but I have PTSD from my childhood, and he said usually PTSD comes from one giant
Right.
thing.
Right. One
event.
traumatic event.
Right.
But yours is a lengthy.
Yeah,
lengthy.
so he says that with my PTSD, it's showing itself in depression, anxiety, panic attacks, all this shit.
Right.
You know, so it's yeah, man, it's a process, and I'm not and again, like I'm not sitting here trying to say, oh, I'm fixed. And
Oh
I'm,
no,
and I'm all good. It
It's a
ain't none of that.
forever process.
Yeah.
But you gotta respect the journey and you gotta appreciate yourself and give yourself the
Yeah.
requisite credit.
Yeah.
You ain't where you need to be, but you way further from where
Way
you was.
further from where I
and
was.
you and you
Yeah.
can see and know you ain't going back down there, and that needs to be commended.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Like me
Nobody
and
ain't gonna cheer
Anon
for you
have
like you,
had
dog.
a lot of conversations about the negative things about life. You know what I'm saying? Just being alive and
And it's
whatnot.
easy to get lost in that.
It is. It
It's like
is.
you wake up to the L's.
But I promise you, you could go scrolling right now. Anytime we've ever had this conversation, whether you were just talking about you or we were talking about each other, I always would tell you the positive reasons that we have to be on this earth and why it's great and all those things, right? I always made sure that I always touch on that. But the reason that it's a forever journey is because the things that we used to say why life's not popping are truths
Yeah.
that
And
we
they ain't gonna
can
change.
never get rid of.
they ain't
That
gonna
we can
change.
never get rid of. We just can't live in them. And we are aware of them in ways that other people aren't aware of them. And it's depressing.
Yeah, and it's not like it's shit that we make up. It's
No,
shit
it's true stuff. You know what I'm
really out
saying?
there.
Like we were talking about on our last podcast about how like most people have bad parents. You feel
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And if
Yeah.
you get dealt bad parents, you are behind the eight ball like in ways that you can't even comprehend.
What's even crazier is if you think about it, there's no such thing as a perfect parent.
Oh, heck
Impossible.
no.
You know what I mean? But kids still be coming out real good. You know what you know. So it's proof that you don't have to be perfect. And I want my kids to understand that I'm not perfect. I don't want you to look to me to be perfect. But I'm
No.
smart enough to give you guidance on things that you need
You
guidance.
don't need to
with.
be perfect. You need to
know.
be there.
I literally said in the video, I might even play it. It's so heartwarming. The video I sent my daughter today is that I just love that you understand that I'm not perfect. The things that you are saying, I said today to my daughter.
dope.
I got saying this stuff like that from you.
on, baby.
Today. All right.
That's dope.
But
What's hard is that what's hard is I just want to say this one more thing before we move on is that like half of my family had already written me off and said he's just gonna kill himself and they won't talk to me and they still won't talk to me, and if I called them right now they still wouldn't believe me. They wouldn't believe that I did all these things, but I don't care.
Of course not.
I don't care if they believe me. All I can do is I sent them my apologies for my behavior. I sent what I could, and I said what I could say, and I'm moving on.
It's
You know
not
what I'm saying?
for them,
It's
but
not-
it will
yeah.
be.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like you fixing yourself is not for them,
Right,
but once
it's
you're
not
fixed,
for them.
it will be for them as well.
Yeah.
bro, I do not mean this as an insult in any way.
like that.
Okay? But when you are speaking and the conviction in your voice, in your face about the things that you are saying is unlike ever before in
I
your
said this
entire
minute
life.
one. When he said what he said, as soon as we start this shit, I said, oh no, this is a different person. We got to call you
Yeah,
something else.
like, straight up.
It's a genuine
Straight
core
up.
change.
Straight up.
And that's how you know it's real.
Yeah.
That really does mean a lot to me, man. Because you know the work that I put in just in this short amount of time since May, really. So we're almost going into August. You know, like 2.5, 3 months since my arrest. It's been hard work, man. It really has,
Yes.
and it's fucking worth it, bro.
Yeah,
Don't call it short term though. It's a long
It's
time.
worth it. It's a long time for me.
That's why it's a long time. That's why it's a long. Rebel always says this, or he has said it before.
Me going 3 days without drinking would have been a miracle.
Exactly, and it stuck with me. He always says when we talk about like working out and stuff, he'll be like, something is always way more than nothing.
Yeah,
you feel what I'm saying? Because nothing is a big. It's honestly kind of how I was explaining how I just want to jump on stage and do something instead of like dwelling on it or being afraid. And it's because something is so much more than nothing. So you got to give yourself credit for 3 days. Like I got a tonal workout machine at home and shit. And every Monday when I work out, it tells me that my streak when I go back and work out this week, I'll be 22 weeks straight. That I at least worked out one time that week. And sometimes I go back and look at the calendar, I'll be like, man, I only worked out one time that week. But then I think there has never been a time in my life that I worked out for at least one day for 22 weeks straight.
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever. So you might say, well, that's not really that much working out because
that's a lot of working out.
It's a lot. No matter how you want, even if I only did it once a week, it's a lot. And this dude on the tonal, he always say, consistency is king. And like I said, you can't make the end goal your goal. You have to make the tiny steps your goal. Like if you say, man, I'm not drinking no more, then you make 30 days your goal, and then 90 days. And then if it's like, I want to start showing my kids that I'm this, or showing my wife that I'm this, or showing some appreciation for this, or whatever, you just do it gradually. Everything that you do gradually, bro, it make it easier.
Yeah, it's like a snowball. You know that snowball effect. It gets bigger and bigger, and it covers more ground.
Because when you look at everything as a whole, it's just too massive, man.
And that it scares you. It's like, man, I can't do that. But remember, every destination starts with leaving.
Yeah,
you can't get where you're going if you never leave.
Yeah, my therapist said it's about to get real on Wednesday. I got an appointment on Wednesday, and he said we're gonna dive into some real deep childhood shit.
It's gonna be tough.
So let me ask you, how long have you been seeing a therapist?
So I've been seeing a psychiatrist for over a year during this, but he really wasn't helping. Psychiatrists, they just prescribe medication.
Right.
They don't really.
They just want money.
They don't get to the bottom of the reason. So I did this program when I got out of jail. I did this 2-week program where this was like intensive, like depression and alcoholism treatment and stuff like that. And then they released me to the regular care of a therapist and a psychiatrist. So it's been about a month and a half, 2 months now.
Do you think everybody should go to therapy?
Yes.
Do they?
I think everyone can benefit from therapy. I won't say everyone
one
should
more
go.
thing?
Yeah.
It's kind of touching on what we talked about before, and we said we're never going to talk about that again.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, okay? Me and you have both talked about therapy, right? And we said, I don't think that I need it, right?
Oh, I said that too.
Oh, yeah, we told you to go to therapy on an episode, and you told us to fuck off, actually. All right?
That sounds like
so, all right, we don't think that we need it, right? But everyone that actually goes to therapy, when you ask them, because I didn't say to him, do you think I should go to therapy? Do you think, I said, do you think everyone? Because that's the question I like to ask. And they always say everyone, right? And I say that, so we're going to move on real quick, is do you think that maybe we're wrong?
Yes.
I think that.
Yes.
Boom.
But here's why but not here's why. There's no adding on to this. This is separate. What do you think is the biggest reason you would say that everybody needs to go? Like what aspect?
Because there's something wrong with everyone that they don't know about.
That is true. Okay, but what if you do?
That's a deep word. See? Look at him. He think I know everything about me, damn it.
Here we go.
No, and you know what? And all jokes aside, like, you know, maybe he does have something that needs to be addressed with why he feels the way he feels. You know, and I'm just using him as an example, but everybody out there has pain, has some sort of hurt or something that they don't address, and if they do address it, most of them address it in an unhealthy way.
They do it improperly. I can see it.
They do it improperly. So if you the thing about therapy is finding the right therapist,
the person that works with you.
Because therapists,
Respect.
when it's a good therapist and it's the right therapist, they'll uncover shit about you that you fucking
I said on a Raw Hype like a year or two ago I was going to go to therapy.
I remember.
And honestly, you know how we were talking about on the last one as well, when you're talking about like human traits, another person feeling the exact same way is like validating it in a sense.
Yeah.
You are like kind of my crutch for why I don't go to therapy.
Who, me?
Yeah. Because
he validates your thought on it.
No.
I feel like we're right.
Bro, I before all this was happening, I had people telling me to go to therapy all the time. Like, man,
Yeah.
that shit don't work.
Oh, I know.
That shit don't work.
Has the therapist ever told you something, or y'all ever got into a conversation that you have had with us?
That not yet. I don't think. I mean, well, what do you mean? You mean something?
Just something that clicked in your head to
Yeah.
say, man, me and Hype or me and Rebel or me, Hype and Rebel talked about this before. If it didn't auto click, I'm fine.
That's what I'm saying. You don't gotta dig.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
No, he asks questions and listens for open-ended answers. And as you're talking, he takes notes. But what he's doing with the notes is that he's gonna then touch on everything you said and address it and try to get to the bottom of it. So a lot of times when you're talking, you'll say things that you don't even realize you said. It'll just pop out, and he'll be like, "I want to go back to what you said. You didn't really touch on it." And then you're like,
I
"Oh
like that.
shit, why did I say that?" You
All
know
right,
what I
I
mean?
have a question from you all then.
Yeah.
The three of us, this is what I believe. And I believe that I'm right, so I would like y'all's opinion. I feel like what connects us is that we come from trauma.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree 100%. Yes. Yeah.
Trauma is a bonding tool, dog.
It is.
It's
It's
just
is.
sadly sometimes you bond over the wrong thing. Like, oh, you do crack and heroin? Shit, me
Yeah,
too.
but for
You might
us,
connect over the wrong
it's
reasons.
like we connect from trauma, but we do want to go up from there.
well, it's a bonding thing in the sense that I can only bond with someone who's been through trauma, and I can't bond with someone who hasn't.
That's how big trauma is.
That's how big trauma is.
That's
Like,
how
if
big
you
trauma
haven't been
is.
through shit and you'll cry over something like
Yeah.
I can't.
Like we can't be homeboys. I can't date you.
Right.
You got to come from
Nothing.
trauma to be around
You
me.
gotta
Like
come
I
from
said
something.
earlier, I like people who don't really hang around other people, and
Yeah.
essentially that is people that come from trauma
Yeah.
because it's literally on some. I'm gonna keep my circle small. What I was getting at is people who like don't hang out with other people and keep their circle very small. The reason that I like people like that is
Yeah.
because you watch who you trust and you watch who you're around, so
Yeah.
you'll respect me being that way. Like to me, if you like everyone, you can't be trusted. And I could be completely wrong there, but I'm just that kind of person. I like people who get it on some. I'm going to just be selective with who I let around me because people are hurt you.
Yeah,
type of thing.
I
You know what I'm
legitimately,
saying?
I legitimately have like 4 friends now. 4 friends. You know what I mean? And but every one of the friends that I have now that stayed in my life during all this time, have value in my life. Have done things for me. I've done things for them. There's a basis there that like he said earlier that I fuck with so hard I could never not fuck with them again.
Right.
Because you've done things together, you've done
Right.
been through shit together, that type of shit. The people that were like hangers on or people that I thought were cool with me, I don't talk to them. I don't talk to them no more. And the other reason why for that too is because I knew who my real friends were after this. When I would get phone calls, they knew what I was going through and knew I was trying to stop drinking and saying, "Yo, let's go out and get drinking.
Right.
Let's go out and
Yeah.
get drunk."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yo,
That
that's not my friend.
That's not your friend. That's honestly your enemy.
That's your enemy.
Yeah.
Like dead serious.
That's your enemy."
You want me in jail on the floor, hung over.
Oh, what? You gonna quit drinking? Come on, man. That ain't you.
Yep.
Let's go take some
Yep.
shots.
I have always said, like, if I'm around one of my friends' girlfriends or something, and she says something to me like, "Don't be trying to have him around no hoes."
Yeah.
I always say, I would never do any of those things as far as talking your husband or your man into doing something that he don't want to do.
Yeah.
I would never do that. Like if I got a cousin or something, my cousin is married, he flies into town and he say, "Where the hoes at?" I'm not gonna say, "Hey, you're married."
Hey, you don't do.
You know what I'm saying? But I'll say, "Let's go find the hoes," right? But if my cousin comes in and he's married and he say, "Well, you know me, I don't be talking to no hoes, so I ain't on that shit. I got wifey home." I'm not gonna be like, "Come on, let's go holler." I'm gonna be like, "Okay, cool." So I say that to say, whatever your friends do, you're supposed to support it. And
Respect it.
and if you're gonna be selective about what you support, only support things that are positive.
Right.
You can't be selective about what you support and then support negative things.
Yeah.
Support me for everything if you're going to support the negative things.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know.
100%. I agree with you. Yeah.
Real quick about the therapy though. You said you've been there going for at least a month and you feel like it is working and stuff, right? Do you give? I'm trying to ask it in a weird way, but do you give credit to yourself or do you give credit to your therapist for helping you be where you at right now?
Both, because you have to have
One and the same.
You have to have the wherewithal and the desire to do
go.
it, the knowledge that you need it.
Facts.
That's the biggest fucking step.
Yeah.
It's to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not a complete person. I need something to make me whole.
The reason I thought and I would believe that everyone needs therapy is when I realized like therapist has a therapist. So it's like you're the one people go to for help, and you need someone to go to for help. That means everyone needs somebody to go.
Yeah, therapy. A lot of therapists have
That's
therapists.
our excuse for not going. Like, I'm a therapist in myself, and I know that I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like my shorty has extreme anxiety.
Yeah.
And I completely, literally, no joke, feel like her having extreme anxiety is the number one reason that she is with me. And it's because I'm like, I care for you. You have extreme anxiety. I have anxiety. It's just not extreme. But once I started researching it for you, I ended up researching it for me because I started reading things that were also me. So I have enough of it to understand it, but then I'm me. So once I get to the point where I say, I see my problem, I can start to therapize myself.
Come on, baby.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like me being therapy for her and saying, well, let's do this and let's do this and let's talk about this and let's figure it out is the number one thing that she likes about me as far as like comfort. You feel what I'm saying? So, like I said, I feel like I'm a therapist, but I didn't know therapists needed therapists.
Well, some people think that. Oh shit! I'm sorry, I forgot. Go ahead.
Were you gonna say anxiety's not real?
Well, no. Thank you, but you reminded me. I used to have a flaw, for instance, that I've made a conscious effort to attack. One of my flaws was that I used to not take people's trauma seriously if it wasn't as bad as mine.
Ooh.
You weigh in.
It has to be hard to recognize that.
It does.
That's something people go to the grave without recognizing. That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's deep.
So I started making a conscious effort. Like if somebody would tell me, man, my dad's only giving me 50 grand instead of 100. I used to be like, man, what the fuck type of don't come at me with that shit, man. I've been through. But now I'm like, that. I mean, I can see how that would be a problem.
Let me respond to that real quick. That's crazy. Because one thing that I can say is that I could never feel sorry for someone who grew up without their father. I have no sympathy or empathy for someone who grew up without their father. And this actually makes me teary-eyed to realize this for what you said. And it's because I always felt like my life would be better if my father wasn't in my life. So I'm like jealous of people who grew up without their father. I'm like, you grew up without your father. Like, I wish you grew up with my pops. So I don't have no empathy for them. I don't know how it affects me in my real life because it's almost like it's trauma, though. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't really, and I could be wrong, but I don't think it affects me in my real life. And I'll say this and I'll be done. One thing that I always tell my daughter is I tell her, I know you've heard about my childhood, and I comprehend that you have a wonderful childhood, but I always try my best to never forget that that doesn't mean your problems aren't real. And to be completely honest, I learned that from her.
That's
because she told me something one time about her childhood, and it was basically on some, like my parents aren't together type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And my parents were together. So it's one of those things where it's like, your childhood has everything you could ever want and is a million times better than mine. But that doesn't mean that your problems aren't valid. And honestly, I learned that recently. Joke.
This is some shit that this is the shit I'm saying, and the reason why I only fuck with certain types of people who can think on that level. Because I know that you and Rebel and the people I fuck with are capable of thinking on that level. Many people are not. You know, that's a mistake. It's another mistake I used to make when dealing with my kids. It's like, well, you don't have any problems. Yeah, they do.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
That's why we always say here on the Raw Hype, man, we can't deal with certain people who elevator don't go up high enough. If I got to come way down to be able to communicute with you, it's not.
And it makes perfect sense to think, like, you had it so much better than I had it. Like, hell, I love you.
They're growing up in
you feel what I'm saying? Like, literally, it's literally like that.
And they're growing up in a different world. But when they tell their story, when they're older, they're going to be like, man, I grew up in COVID lockdown. It's going to sound like some Russian fucking...
It's the truth.
You know what I'm saying?
It's another, honestly, in a roundabout way, it's another reason why life sucks.
Yeah.
Like, all jokes aside, because you can have everything and it's still something about it that's unfulfilling.
Yes.
And then you're getting it from people who look at it like, I would have been totally fulfilled. Like, I even have told my daughter this before, and I've just literally said it on some, if I had a dad like me, and I didn't mean this as an insult, and I explained it to her, of course, I said, if I had a dad like me, I would have been rich as a kid. You feel what I'm saying? And I even tell, and I tell you this all the time. I tell her never stress because I always feel like I want to take care of you your entire life. You know what I'm saying? I want to be rich for you. So my whole point of saying that is, you're right, and it's a big thing to learn, and I'm impressed. It's a big thing to learn because that's a mind thing, and when you switch that and look at life differently, that's big.
That's when you tell it. That's why I say who you give the credit to, because that's something you got to take credit for, because that type of shift is a shift motherfuckers can't do. And real quick, when we're talking about therapy, one of the reasons that I would say why we don't get therapy, or I would say I didn't need therapy, if I would say it out loud, is that's what we do here.
I agree with that.
What we just did was therapy.
Yeah.
So we had a big old argument for an hour and a half, and it would be impossible for me not to leave here and be mindful of some of the things that y'all said that was going on. So, and all I have to do is be mindful of that. So now if I do it, I'm doing it on purpose.
Right.
You know there were times back in our stubborn days where we would argue and we'd be in the studio or something. We'd argue over dumb shit all the time. But like we'd be in the studio making a song and we'd argue and both of us just hard-headed and didn't want to admit we were wrong. And then he would leave and I'd be like, damn, I hate that motherfucker was right. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't tell him.
That's just terrible.
But I wouldn't tell him. You know what I mean?
I feel that. That's funny.
But now I will. You know what I mean? So
thank you. And
that's about growing up, though. That's not about therapy.
Yeah.
But no, that's part of therapy. Like knowing you have this issue,
in my opinion,
identifying the issue and then doing the work it takes to overcome the issue. That's therapy. That's why I said we do this shit all the time. So
we're like each other's therapists.
Exactly. So yes, we need, I guess, a professional. But again, I would want the professional just to learn more.
What I should be saying to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, like for real. I do agree with that. That's cool.
And again, so yes, we need therapy, but we also have to identify we do get it.
Yes, but I also think, like when I think like I would never have empathy for somebody who grew up, whose father like left because of my situation. Like, I would like to know, does that mean anything for my life or who I am or how I act about things?
Well, yeah, actually, because that's
Even
what
if
I
it's
was
subconsciously.
That's what I was going to touch on when I was saying that when I was saying that I used to not take people's problems seriously, is that that manifests itself in a lot of ways.
Yes.
So if I won't take someone's problem seriously, that means I'm an asshole to most people.
Yeah.
Or I'm at least at the very best I'm disrespecting them by not taking them seriously because I haven't really met many people whose childhood was as bad as mine. So instantly I'm putting all those people on a level of I can't respect you.
Comparing.
Yeah. Damn, that's another thing. I do feel like I don't know nobody whose childhood was as bad as mine.
Right. So that in and of itself, that in and of itself is what makes you say, okay, now I know that I could be passively giving these people, some sort of behavior that they don't deserve.
Well, real quick, I was talking to my cousin the other day, and he was having this issue between him and his mother, and the dynamic they have because he's, of course, growing now and being older, and she's trying to handle situations with him how she always would. I'm the parent, I'm the mom, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And then so he came to me like he always comes to me about different things, and he asked me about this, and I say, yo, I'm going to be completely honest with you. This is me being honest. I can't comment on mother shit.
Right.
That's not my wheelhouse. So I'm not want to portray myself to you as this nigga who knows everything and all that. It's like in this range, what you dealing with, now I can tell you what I assume it is, but don't take that with you because I have no clue because this realm is not my realm.
Understood.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those like self-aware type of shit that people need to do more.
And that's what I want. I just want to never stop the thirst of being self-aware. Because I just want to become better.
Oh my God. That was the biggest, that was my beginning point right there, was saying, man, I kept hearing things that people were saying about me. And instead, I stopped getting mad about it, and I started going, why are people saying these things? And then I started saying, okay, I'm going to make a goal. And this happened about a year and a half ago. I said, I'm going to make it a goal to become more self-aware. I want to know what type of person
you did tell me that.
But I do think you had started that before all of this happened. You had started the journey of that. I remember that.
Yep, I remember
Highlightedly, I remember that.
I remember that too. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
so it was time.
Yeah, it was time. And being and I became now I'm really self-aware. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Is
joy.
I know, right? Another reason that I don't feel like I need to go to therapy is because I am very self-aware. I'm happy, and I don't have anything but great relationships with everybody that's in my life.
See, again, I'd like to just be curious as to what happens in the therapy office. But my problem is I do know it's a business and it's how these people make their living.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you can give me what I need from you today, because I'm here for something specific, I don't want you to take your slow walk steps and do what you normally do, which is get comfortable with
All
the person.
three of us think
and
like
all
that.
these different
Yeah.
types of things. It's
All
like,
three
man,
of us.
let's
That's what I
get
used
to
to
it.
think, too.
All three of us would say
That's
that.
what I used to think too, but now I realize there's a process to it, and there has to be. So they have to ask you baseline questions when they first meet you, and then
I want to do it, man.
They
I
formulate.
was talking yesterday, so I don't mean to cut
go
you off,
ahead.
but I was talking yesterday to somebody, and we was talking about therapy, and my other cousin, and a couple other people was there, and they was telling them about how much I've helped them throughout the years with some of the shit, and I tell her the reason that I feel like I'm better than a therapist is because normally I have a base level of who you are, and I'm paying attention to you and some of the things you do or say, and I'm able to tell some of your tells. I feel like the therapist has to learn that. So however much sessions or time it takes for them to learn those things, sadly
How
you
long
gotta
you been
pay
going to
for
therapy?
it. You said a month.
about a month and a half.
Yeah.
It's going
I
on
mean,
2 months.
if I can
2
get
months.
results in 2 months,
But you're paying every day when you go, though. How often do you go? Once a week?
Once a week, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But see, the
Okay.
thing is that
Yeah. That's not
the
that
thing is that when you go once, you're going to want to go again because they leave it on a note.
Exactly.
And you know, you could say that it's like
But that annoys
that's how
me.
they get you. But here's the
That
thing.
annoys me.
But here's the thing. If it's covered by insurance and I'm not paying for it, then I don't care.
There you go.
Right. So I'm letting them take their time and do what they got to do.
Help me as
but
long as
I
you take.
mean, can you put a price? I hate to be corny, but can you put a price on your mental health?
No.
Like this kind of stuff, we buy whatever we want. So you can't say price is the
You
reason
can't,
wouldn't do
bro.
it.
You can't.
Well, no, not for me particularly. I'm just saying sadly the scheme of, man, if I can help you in 2 sessions, I need to make it 4 or 5 so I can get it. That's what I mean. I don't mean it in like a negative
some
way.
massage parlors you can get somebody to suck your dick. That you can't get them all from there. Some
Ain't
of,
on his back. No, I'm just playing.
some of them ain't real. You know what I mean? So if you got to find the right one. That's all it
feel
is.
that.
And if you're not comfortable with your therapist, it ain't gonna work.
See,
Real quick before you ask, what kind of therapist do you have? Like, is it a male, white male?
He's
woman?
a Latino male.
I could do
You
that.
don't think that's a bit different for you to
No,
have?
and it doesn't matter because he's gotten to know me like none of them have before, and he's telling me things that make sense, that I never really thought of before, and I always said if I'm going to get a therapist, it's going to be one that can give me like an eye opener, and he's done that many times. So you got to be able to make me go, oh shit. Because I know most shit about me already, you know what I mean.
Right.
So they can find out, you know, what you've been through and what's wrong with you, and then they'll give you ways to hopefully help you fix it, you know, or
that.
address it, work on it.
All right, Rebel, I got a one. You're gonna love this.
Come on, give it to me.
You know how you say you can be a therapist because you can read the telltale signs of someone and know which way that you can go and speak and blah blah blah.
It helps.
You want to know why you know that?
Tell me.
Trauma. It's the honest to God truth.
Yeah.
That
Trauma.
makes sense.
It's the only way you know because you've seen it from every angle. And like even if
You can see if somebody's hiding. And
for
it's like,
sure, or just even like seeing other people in your family deal with trauma.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're up close and personal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Like, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, even my lady has trauma because again she was in a war, dog, like born in a war, and her family and all that has war. So now she has situations with her mother, right? And she be angry at her mother, and I say, dog, you have to understand the brain your mother has and what you have is different. Your mother was your age right now, going to a new country, learning the language with 2 kids. You can't understand what kind of trauma that must feel like, man.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're running away from something also. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you kind of got to deal with her a little differently as opposed to thinking she should be on your level. Chances are it worked if you're higher than her because she kind of brought you over here to make you a better person. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
I get that.
that trauma is a
What I also
dog.
know it is because what I also notice is people who haven't been through as much trauma as me don't deserve to be discredited. They actually deserve to be valued because they can show you more positivity that you don't see in life. Because
Yes.
I've been trained to see the negative.
Yeah.
Right?
But that's me and your relationship over the years. And you've always would be the reckless one, and now the hey man, chill out, man. And it's because yes,
that's
I have
been our
trauma.
dynamic all along.
Exactly.
You've always been telling me, you need to chill, you need to stop doing this, stop doing that. I'm always the one that has that that people are saying that too. You know what I mean?
But it's also why I'm telling you, you have to appreciate yourself, because me being a nigga who see the journey and heard the stories and been around and, like you said, been involved in things and did things. So it's like, man, this where you at today is sadly where I've always wanted you to be at. So the fact that you're here now today, commend your fucking self, yo.
My pops they put my pops in the ground. And he was not self-aware.
When he told me that shit, I was like, it's like, man, you have a moment to apologize. You have a moment to talk to me. Be real.
I gave him the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I wasn't a kid when I gave him this opportunity. This was in 2020.
Yeah.
It was in 2020. It was, because remember when I was in Texas, I got sent home from work because of COVID.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, no, it had to be 2021.
I thought it was 2021.
So, damn, that wasn't even that long ago. And at 2021. And that also lets me know that I carry some trauma for it, because it's like, man, I'm going to give you another chance to just be like, I was shitty as a pops. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I don't know what it would have done for me, but I did ask him. I'm going to talk to my therapist about it. I really am.
Come on, baby.
But my whole point of saying that is, it had to be something I wanted. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't give it to me. And him not giving it to me, I feel fine about it. Yeah. It's just like, it was my validation to know I was not wrong for not fucking with you.
And so there you go with therapizing, right? I would try to therapize my dog. But when he says that part, I was like, man, you might want to this. And he's like, yo, I gave this man the opportunity when he know he about to ride.
Right.
And
no, he didn't. He was still in good health.
You sure?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was up walking around talking to me about doing cocaine and shit. Like, he was in good health. Okay. He wasn't bad until I came back. He died like a year ago. Yeah. He was in perfectly good health still.
I thought it was when you and everybody was in the house.
Nah. There was another time I tried to talk to him, but he was already kind of like out of it. Okay. Nah, he was still in good health. But that's another reason why I hold it against him.
And when he said that, he's like, man, he had the opportunity to do it and he didn't take it, so I can't carry nothing with it. Right. Me as a non-therapist, I go, well, I can't add shit there. There's nothing to build on.
I feel no pain. Exactly. I promise I really don't. Like, there might be some answers that I would like and some things that I would like to explore that could possibly make me a better person. Like, the reason that I would consider it is because even though I am happy, I'd like to be happier, you know?
Especially if there's room.
Exactly. Me and you was talking one time, and I don't remember if I said it or you said it, but I remember whoever said it, the other person agreed with them. And it was like overall, I'm like generally sad. You feel what I'm saying? And I was like, yeah, I really am. And like I said, I'm happy with my life, but I do have a fear that I won't be for long. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And even like there are certain aspects of my life that I don't appreciate as much as I should.
Well, that was what I was going to say earlier when you said that you're happy. I was going to say, well, therapists have a way of making you possibly happier.
Yeah, exactly.
And that could happen. With that. But my therapist, he put now y'all know my father's never been in my life, right? Mm-hmm. Well, recently after the passing of my nephew, which is his grandson, now he's like trying to be involved in shit and calling people. He'll call me once every 2 months, and usually I just avoid the phone call. So So my therapist said, well, actually, my therapist gave me an assignment, and he said, I want you to call your mother, and I want you to call your father. Mm. And I said, well, I don't want to do that. And so he goes, you need to call your mother and tell her honestly how you feel. Don't hold anything back.
See, but I feel like you did that.
I should have did that.
Nah, I've always held back because I can't be honest, 100% honest with my mom.
I never did.
I always held back, and so he goes, but this time don't hold back. Damn. Tell her everything tell her the things that you remember.
That's deep.
Tell her the things that you remember.
This is why I don't like therapy, because now I'm thinking, man, I think I should do this.
Yeah, and that's deep. That's hard to do.
And he said, be honest. Tell her all the things that you remember and the things that you've told me. So I told my mom, I said, I have a problem. I did call her and we got in a conversation, and I said, I have a problem with the fact that you treated Summer and my younger brother better than me. And she said, I'm sorry that I did that. And I said, well, I appreciate your apology, but you still do it. So the behavior is continuing. How
are you sorry if you're still doing the same thing?
Right. So she says, I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. And I said, okay, well, I mean, I don't need you to say anything. I just want you to know that I acknowledge that it's something I felt my whole life and was staring me in my face. And now I know. You know what I mean? And she got mad and yelled and hung up on me.
See? And I don't mean to cut you off. I expected that to happen.
Something's going on real right here. I want to know what's going on.
Let him feel feel his feels,
bro,
man.
Like, this kind of crazy to me, bro. Man, that's kind of crazy. Like, for me, when you say this, you saying shit man, you saying some dope shit. You saying some dope shit. Because I truly feel like, right, the reason that I don't need a therapist is because I'm so strong, right? But if I was so strong, I would have did that.
See, but okay, what did you get from that?
We build up identities within ourselves.
What did you get from that? Did you feel like the reward or whatever you got from having that conversation was worth having the conversation?
Yes, because my mom now knows how I feel, and she can take her time to either she'll never talk to me again, and that's fine. If she doesn't want to, she might not. I mean, that's not. I wouldn't put that past my mom to just not call me. But if she does, it'll be with the knowledge that I know. And that I noticed it, you know what I mean, and that it was obvious.
You know me, I would thrive in giving that to my pops.
Yeah.
See, but me,
I love it.
I
didn't call my pops. My therapist told me to call my pops too, and I was like, I really, truly have nothing to say to this dude.
Right.
And the reason why is because he just was never there. And he goes, tell him that.
But what's that going to do? The reason I don't have this conversation with my mother is because I always said the other day, you have nothing to tell me.
Right.
You haven't been there for my life, so you can't tell me some dope things of what I did when I was younger or anything. And there's nothing you can provide to me now that I need moving forward.
Can I say something?
Yes, yes.
This is why I don't feel sorry for the scenario, right? Because when you said what you said, I think about how my father was not in my life at all, but he was always there to cause chaos for it. So, like, I wouldn't see my father for 3 days, and then he would come home, cuss everybody out, take our video games away from us, and then leave.
Yeah, that's worse.
And I wouldn't see him for days.
That's worse than just not
You feel what I'm
having
saying?
him around.
You feel me? So I'm like, I wish that my pops just breathed, but you do got to give them those bars because you owe it to yourself.
You owe it to yourself.
You owe it to yourself because you letting them slide, bro.
And what I am going to do, I am going to call him because what my father used to do is about every 3 to 7 years, he would call and he would go, I got my shit together. I'm ready to be in your life now.
Man.
I'm ready to
This
be
is
in your life
ridiculous.
now. And then hang up and I wouldn't see you here for another 5 years. That's how he was in my life.
That's crazy.
That's how he
I
was
would
in my
have
life.
liked to give my father them bars, though,
But
man.
therapeutically speaking, if you know the end result, what's the purpose of giving them what they're saying?
You don't
get?
know the end result.
You said
did.
you know. I
I
know
knew
the
the end
result.
result. My pops was never gonna change.
Dog.
But I would have liked for him to hear these bars,
Yeah.
though. I can't.
Dog, my mother was just here recently, right? And it was a situation where she wanted to see my daughter, and she contacted my sister to see my daughter. Now, me and my mother have been in contact within the last month or two before that. So I go, well, why are you going to her to contact something that you need to be discussing
Right.
with me?
Right.
And then you do it when you're here.
Right.
You know you're coming
It's
here.
cowardly too.
Thank you. So, if I know you'll go about shit in a cowardly manner, me coming and dropping these bars on you, you're going to leave in a cowardly manner. Again, I'm assuming, but based on the history of how you deal with things, even history being last fucking week, what is it there for me to say that this is not how it's going to
You're
go?
right.
Do you think that your mother knows she was wrong in that situation?
Dog,
Do you think she knows she was wrong?
I think she has what y'all say I have, so I gotta give her credit. But I don't think she believes she's wrong, even though she's known. Everybody can show you is wrong.
Would you consider? Okay,
See how you caught that in a therapy type of way,
But
though?
see,
Hey,
Like, no
I'm
bullshit.
aware.
no. Hold on. This
Go
is
ahead.
a very important question, a very big question. Would you say that your mother is a malicious person,
Absolutely.
like intentionally malicious?
Absolutely.
Okay, so then there's things that lay deep down in you, obviously, that you most likely need therapy for.
But here's my thing, Anon. I already had my therapy for myself, and the things that she had a hold on me and stuff, I have let them go.
Me too.
Perfect example with my daughter. I don't have a problem with my mother seeing my daughter, right? But my problem is you have to go about it the correct way, and you trying to avoid the correct way because the correct way is I have to have a conversation with this motherfucker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm not vindictive on the, well, you wasn't in my life, you ain't gonna be in hers.
Yeah, I would be
So-
cool with you keeping the conversation short and me just arranging for y'all to see each other.
That's
and everything.
it. But you gotta do it.
You're saying some great things. I want to respond. Hold up.
Come on.
All right. So what you're saying, I believe so much, and I'm still on your side. I still feel like both of us need to go to
a
therapy.
fact.
But I feel like we're right in this way, and like I said, that's how I feel like I'm different
Yeah,
now.
you
I
may
completely
be.
feel like I'm right. Okay. Like for me, when I told you I talked to my pops and I asked him questions like, do you think you were a good father? Okay? And then I asked him questions about things that happened in my life.
Well, how did he answer that?
He said, "I ain't the worst, but I've seen better." He said, "I ain't the worst, but I've seen better," and I even appreciated the answer. I thought it was funny. I get it.
It's an.
Did he hit you with a boy? Did he give you one of those preferences?
No. So there, I started asking him questions about like things that he needed to fess up on, and he would either.
Well, you understand that was a self-aware statement that he made, right?
Yes.
Because you said he was buried with no self-awareness.
Yes, but anybody could say that.
Okay.
Okay, how are you as a father? The answer is that. How are you as a father? The answer is that. How am I as a father? I'm not the worst, but I have seen better. Yeah. I'm not the best father in the world, even though I would love to be.
Blanket reaction.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, anyone can say that. So, no, that's not self-aware. But anywho, that's my father. He'll say something like that to make you feel that way. It's what you say I do. But anywho.
But see, real quick, man, have you realized like a lot of the issues that we have with our parents are issues that we have with ourselves?
It's why they need to hit these bars.
Well, hurt people hurt people. So if you're hurt, you're going to hurt people.
But I wanted to say this. Hold on. I'm sorry. Is that what you said is I know the answer, right? So when I tried to talk to my pops and he either didn't answer me or he lied, I had the answer to he was never gonna fess up, so to speak. But and I'm fine with that. I'll be good with that for the rest of my life. But when you do say, man, you should have just gave him them bars, I do think that would have been therapeutic for me, man. Yeah. I really do.
I feel like I told you.
How what you did.
And I said, fuck that.
Yeah.
I tried to how what you did affected me, and how it made me feel. Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
But what does that do? Is my ultimate question.
It gets it off of you.
Yeah.
Because you carry it. You're the one carrying it. Yeah.
If I just said it now, I said it to you. It's all for me.
But but also.
But you haven't said it to the right target yet.
Yeah. Another reason
I'll get the same response almost.
Well,
another reason that I agree with you, bro,
something different happens when you do it.
Is because how you said you don't have a problem with her like seeing your daughter and shit, right? Like when I think of my father, I smile. I don't hate my father. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have no huge ill will to my father. I thought my father was funny. I thought he was cool. Like my pops was cool for me. It's like I didn't answer his calls if I didn't feel like talking to him. And you're not a good enough father for me to want to talk to you that often. So I might talk to you 2, 3, 4 times a year. Like I still went and visited him from time to time. You know, like I don't have no ill will towards him like that. So another reason why I'm rocking with what you're saying is I don't really need it because I don't care in a way that's negative. Like you're cool to me.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
So you feel like it was beneficial. So why haven't you done it with your father, seeing as you know the result is beneficial?
Because my father has brain damage. Number one, so he won't take accountability for anything. Number two, he'll act like none of that shit ever happened. He'll pretend it didn't even happen.
But I thought you just said you got to get it out though.
To him, it would just be like talking to a wall.
So what if I just saw the same thing for me?
I mean, which relationship with your...
But I also said, you didn't hear this part. I said I'm going to do it.
Oh.
Which one of your relationships with your parent was worse? Mother or father?
My
has to be mother.
I mean, my mother, but
because the father wasn't there.
Because my father wasn't there, but and it took me a long time, but I realized that my mother was why my father wasn't there.
And that's about that is.
And I also realized that my mother was why none of my siblings' fathers were there.
So see, with me, it's the flip side.
But see,
my father being as dope as he is, for my mother to do him like that, it just validates how terrible of a person you are.
Right, but to me, his answer was my mother. I mean, was his mother? I mean, his father in a roundabout way, but it's all his mother's fault. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about the root?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, if my mother sees it, she'll never speak to me again, and that's fine.
What I'm saying?
I'm speaking the truth, how I remember it, and how I know it.
I get that.
I have no obligation. I have no further obligation to lie on her behalf.
I feel that. And see, I was on that. I'm not finna lie for none of the people. Like, because I talked about my pops openly on the Raw Hype when he was alive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
if you did something you're ashamed of, that's on you to get help for that.
Yeah.
It's not on me to carry that for you.
I didn't talk to him because I didn't care to. I literally didn't. You know?
And like real quick, and even with me, I've said before, I talked to my mother, but she got to do it on the Raw Hype, baby.
All right.
I have to
that's like how
because I have to be able to benefit.
Right.
I'm not going to benefit from this conversation. Yeah. You're not going to take
that would be a very highly viewed episode.
I have to benefit from that motherfucker. Yeah. I'm willing to talk to you, but we have to talk correctly. You know? Correctly, man. Like
on the record, damn it.
Exactly. That's correctly to me. They go on the record. Motherfucker don't want us to get this therapy out.
But yeah,
would you guys agree that this was therapy?
Oh yeah.
I think so, yeah.
But think about it wholeheartedly. We started off our last conversation yelling at each other. You dumbass motherfucker. You ain't shit. Fix this about yourself. We take this episode, it's been calm. We've been supportive.
Right.
We came out some more.
Right.
Well, not come out, but you get the point.
Pause.
It's just confusing for me, man, because like I said, I already feel like I'm there. I feel good.
This episode, these two episodes, is my example of why we're there. Y'all said something in the beginning. I argued the part that I could argue, and as we see in the second, I'm willing to accept the parts that I feel I was wrong at. Now, did I give y'all the validation? Maybe not.
Right. You are right,
just
bro,
know
about the
I got
therapeutic, bro, because I really started talking about a lot of that shit on here.
Yes.
Because I used to not talk about none of my family shit on here.
Well, you got to understand, I used to pride myself on my mental strength. And that shit was a facade. I wasn't mentally strong.
But mental strength don't mean bottling it in.
Yeah.
Mental strength is, even if you dealing with it, being able to still deal with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, again, if my mother come in this room right now to talk, I'm not going to get hot. I'm not going to get nervous or nothing because there's no fear there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But with me, there's no fear with fucking anyone.
There's no fear with anyone in that sense either. For me,
it sounds like your fear is for your father. Though.
No. There's just disappointment. That's all. It's not. There's no fear.
Yeah,
see, but I'm not gonna be fair being disappointed. You're disappointed my whole fucking life.
Yeah.
So,
man, I had a great time having this conversation, man.
Hey, I love how we had these levels.
I hate that it was mostly about me. The shit.
I feel like I talked a lot and said a lot of personal shit. I said shit that I didn't know before today.
You opened the door. You set the tone. So maybe the first 20, 30 minutes was you setting the tone, but from then on, everybody had their different avenues of release.
Why I wanted to say I do think this was like a lot of therapy for us. And even talking and expressing things with my daughter, which honestly just openly going hard, it's only been about 3 years. Like of me just really letting her know that I'm broken in a lot of ways, but I'm whole. But it took a long time to get here. You feel what I'm saying?
Put the pieces together.
Yeah, my point of saying that though is I like something about thinking about my childhood can make me teary-eyed, but, and it's only because I haven't thought about it like since then, but it doesn't shake me. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't knock me down. It just really just makes me say, it makes me like proud of myself. It makes me say, man, you turned out to be dope. You know what I'm saying? Given the circumstances.
I'm proud that it makes you teary-eyed. Because it shows, you know what I'm saying?
I am
you're
human.
not and you're not scared
and
of
some
it.
people actually act like I'm not. But yes, and that's another thing.
But you're also lucky though in the sense that you didn't let it make you grow up with an inherent sense of self-worth. Like that you felt worthless. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
I felt that
I don't know how I don't.
I felt up growing less than, like feeling less than.
I was raised as less than. I don't know how I don't.
It's why I empower. I always try to uplift, tell you good things about yourself, try to make you feel good, whomever, because it's like, I grew up having motherfuckers not do that, not be around, and I know how, this is what my daughter does right now. We'll go in the store, my daughter will be like, oh my gosh, your hair looks so beautiful. That motherfucking person will be glowing for the rest of the time with hair, and it's something as simple as that people don't give. So that's why I give it, and I'm so glad she gives
and that's
it.
amazing. See, he was able to go through what he did, and it didn't make him feel less than. You were able to go through what you went through, and you're still able to be this upbeat, positive person. For me, I didn't get lucky like that.
Right?
So
just had to work harder.
It's definitely
it's luck. So I had to acknowledge that, and I'm like, yo,
That's the definition of luck.
I'm walking around here acting like I'm all mentally tough, and no, I'm not.
So I became stronger mentally when I became weaker, man.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the stuff that like could like make me tear out and make me feel some kind of way, that was impossible for me. Like when I was younger, like it would literally bounce off of me. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know.
And being able to show those emotions means you're mentally stronger.
Oh, of course. It bothers me in no way.
Yeah.
It bothers me in no way. Like, me and my sister had a talk, and she was saying, like, I feel weak if somebody see me cry. And I said, I'm sorry, but that's the thought process of a crazy person. No bullshit.
It is.
I'm like, you a motherfucking human, yo. You know what I'm saying? You a human. We just regular
But
as
I
fuck,
felt that
man.
same way myself. So, but I don't anymore. So if I cry now, it feels good.
Yeah.
When's the last time you like sat there and just fucking cried, bro? Like
Shout out
cried.
to Kobe, man.
Yep.
Now, the last time I cried was like when Kobe died, for real.
Right, but how good did it feel though?
The last time I cried was in the 4th grade. I got beat for stealing a watch.
Never
cried since
You
then.
got shit built up
when my
so fucking strong.
my daughter was your daughter's age, that's how long ago it was since I cried.
If you do
No
go to
bullshit.
therapy and they unlock that pop,
No
you're
bullshit.
gonna.
But I'm saying, what did it have to
going.
unlock? That's my only time in therapy. What is it to
Even
unlock?
if you don't go to therapy, you will be like me. It will unlock on its own.
Yeah,
but it will unlock.
Yeah.
There is something that is going to happen with your daughter one day that is not a casualty. That is a happy thing.
Yeah.
And it's going to make you
Tears
cry.
of happiness, and they feel good.
I feel warm, which I think that's
it's going to make you cry. Or you will explain to your daughter who you are one day. You will explain to your daughter, this is why I am how I am with you, because not only did I not get this at all, but it made my life a lot harder.
The fucked up part is
it's gonna happen.
This will be
because you owe her that.
This will be
You owe her that.
for
you
real.
owe her who are you, and just because you don't give a fuck about it, don't mean you don't tell me about it. Who are you? You owe
I
her
got
that.
I got the dopest ending to the podcast,
happening.
so y'all let me know when you're ready.
Am I ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, man, let's cut it off.
Go.
Man, I want to cry.
All right, because the last time I cried was when I was having a panic attack. So we're gonna wrap this up so I can go find something positive to cry about.
Ooh.
Don't drop the mic. We gotta leave
nigga
on the
wrote
right
that
note.
and shit.
I know, right? He's
rapping?
like, I got it in my pocket.
What was this? Why was we rapping on this beat? Oh, because he fresh out on bed.
Fresh on bail, baby. Now we gotta lighten the mood.
Right.
It's the Raw Hype, baby. We hope you had a little bit of therapizing in here today. Hope
Don't
you
be
feel
afraid
better.
to cry.
I guess the message of the day
afraid to
today
cry.
is go to therapy. You probably need it. Fresh out of jail, out of bail, going to therapy. I don't know. It's scaring me. I'ma tell him whatever he need. He asking me about my childhood and my response is I'm good. He be like, man, you need to talk to your mother. I be like, man, fuck that motherfucker. He's like, oh no, sir, you kind of put that rage back in the cage. I say, man, you don't know what it is with the switchblade. I stab her, jab her. Why you wasn't there? Did I not matter? Don't you notice your boy getting fatter? It's your fault. Your ass didn't show me rules. Not eat all this fat with your food, you bitch.
Oh, shit.
Hey.
I'm sorry. Let's go, baby.
Hey.
That was hilarious.
Hey, out on bail, fresh out of jail, therapeutic sessions. I step in the office for I'm learning lessons.
Hey.
And I'm getting out that bitch without the Smith & Wesson. I got to put the guns down and pick the books up. I got to go and find something good to cry about. Look, the sky is beautiful. The sky is blue and the breeze is blowing. Boy, I thought you knew. We're feeling good up in this bitch, man. I'm happy now. About to go and play with my daughter Pappy's home. Hey, we about to make this shit cracking now. About to get my business all active now. Come on. Yeah, we on that up and up, baby. We on that not giving a fucky fuck, baby. Hey, positive thoughts, yo.
Let 'em go.
Nothing but some positive thoughts. Hey, the positive thoughts.
Hey.
Nothing but some positive thoughts.
I'm out on bail hollering at pops. Now I'm lying my phone.
Start that bubble. You gotta get this
man,
off.
I ain't rapping, man.
You gotta get it off, nigga.
Nah, I
It's
can't
therapy,
do it,
baby.
man. I was hoping for a groove, man. I ain't rapping, man.
All right, man. But
Hey.
listen, ain't nothing.
I have to say something real quick. Me and A-Dog used to always have this running joke or whatever. Well, one of us would. This shows how sick and twisted we can be at times. Oh, yeah. One of us would text the other one and be like, "Hey, you think my dad's gonna call me today?"
I remember that.
Probably not. Probably not. You think mine?
Sometimes we'd be like, he's got to. It's been how long?
I sure hope my dad calls today.
And I'll be like, I think this is your day, bro. I think this is the day.
And
See,
it's like,
that's also why we like dark comedy because
Oh, yeah.
of trauma.
I'll never stop liking dark comedy.
Yeah, to me, in any way.
I don't know how you raw hype, but we raw hype responsibly.
Ooh.